We'll be heading straight away to another report regarding the main topic for tonight, and it would be the development of the information technology and the communication sector here in Egypt. So let's see a report about it.
President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi issued directives to continue development of the information technology and communication sector to be one of the country's pillars, pushing the economic and social growth forward. Presidential spokesman Ambassador Bassam Saudi said the President's remarks came during his meeting with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and Communication Minister Amr Talat on Thursday. The meeting reviewed Communication Ministry's 2018-2020 Strategic Plan, aiming at supporting the transformation into digital systems and automating public services. President El-Sisi also directed to make the communication sector one of the fields which were attractive to technological investments and innovation. Talat briefed President El-Sisi on the mechanism devised to conduct the digitalization and automating the public services and the partnership between both the government and the private sector in this domain.
Welcome back. You're still watching the daily debate, to be shedding more light on the recent directives made by President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi to Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and the Minister of Information Technology and Communications, Amr Talat, to be developing the sector between the years 2018 and 2020 through a distinctive strategy, and of course to be gaining more confidence, to be boosting the economic growth here in the country. I'm honored to be having with me in the studio today Dr. Osama Mustafa, the information technology expert. Dr. Osama, thank you very much for being with us today on the daily debate. Thank you. And Dr. ElSayed, the Professor of Information Technology and the Computer Engineering, thank you very much for being with us today.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Dr. ElSayed, if we can start with the main strategy that President El-Sisi spoke about or directed to be implemented in the upcoming 2 or 3 years. Yes. What is this strategy in the field of information technology?
Yes, thank you. As you know, the strategy, it means that we are looking for a dream. We are looking forward for what could be happen later on. And actually, when we are talking about a strategic or a strategy or a strategic plan, we have to concentrate on 2 points, 2 dimensions. The first one, we are talking in future. It's not short period. And the second thing, it has to be comprehensive, integrated. It means to have all the different interrelationship between different things. So the strategy here, as you know, for IT and communication sector, yes, that we would like to make use of this, that we have already here in Egypt and our country, graduates almost about 50,000 a year yearly, that they grasp the language. They know the science of computer science, computer engineering, information technology, and you can make use of this. So this directive and the strategy is based upon to make here IT and communication as one of the pillars to improve and to develop our economics and social growth. And that's exactly our strategy. Taking into consideration that here we can do this, we can do it. We are capable, we will do it, and that's so we can do that. With only managing our HRM, or managing the human resources, and that's exactly the start, and it was very good specific directives that will take this as one of the pillars of our economic growth and social growth at the same time. Taking into consideration, there's some details, of course, how to do that, and they put some a strategic plan by the minister himself. He put it in 3 different things. How to make here use of course, of our resources, how to take care of them, to keep developing all that, to have a database for everything that we can do it, and we prepare our human resource or workforce to be exported. I mean exported in different way, outsourcing. And that's one of the main points that they are concentrating on, and we can make use of that. And according to the European Outsourcing Association, they give us a good certificate in that, because actually people here, I mean, those graduate and those expertise and experienced people, youth, here they know language. We have a quite good number. At the same time, they know the science, math, statistics, data structure, databases, etc. And at the same time, we can explore that kind of experience while we are sitting here. So I can do that thing of things, these services. At the same time, they would like to have the automation to concentrate in automating all the public services.
So we do have the qualified calibers. What about the main goals for this strategy, Dr. Osama? How do you see it in 2018 till 2020, and of course for the near future and the long term?
Well, for me, I see the main goal for this is the satisfaction and the complete services for the Egyptian citizenship. So this is the ultimate goal that I see from the speech of the President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi, providing the citizens with all the needs to use the technology. So if we're talking about the e-services, the government e-services, for example, nowadays they are building the complete system to join all the government sectors together with a very large database. So the citizenship, instead of being in line, long lines, and spending 5 or 6 days to finish one transaction, they can do that at home in few minutes. So this is the ultimate goal, is the ease of life for the citizenship. Of course, the IT and technology is the nerve for any country now, and they measure the development countries with how much technology they are using in the country. So having that Egypt with its location, the calling for localization of the digital services in Egypt, bringing all the big companies here, opening large sectors, private sectors coming to Egypt to invest in technology. It means that by the end of 2020, we will be having major companies here. We open for task force, as the doctor said, to work. And at the end, we'll be exporting technology to other countries. A country like India, for example, 40% of their income are coming from outsourcing, as the doctor said, exporting technology to other countries. We have the calibers here in Egypt. All what we need is to expand all over Egypt the digital hubs, bringing the youth working on those hubs, training them. And then at the end of the line, we'll be exporting technology, having the growth of our income in Egypt.
So the satisfaction of the Egyptian citizen, as Dr. Osama said, is the ultimate goal of this strategy. Can this be done in 3 years? Or do we need more time?
I think that we need more time.
So it's a
yes, actually, this is not an easy job. You see here, what kind of, difficulties for doing that? Here we would like to deal with an integrated database covering the different public services, as Dr. Osama just said. And this is one of the aims that we are taking in consideration, that we'd like here to have to automate all the public services. One aspect or other aspects, maybe that we'll be able to do this, but don't forget something. Here, if you are going to feed that kind of data, because we don't have this automated feeding for this database, we can analyze and design and make that kind of DBMS and at the same time the programs. But the point here, how about data and the accuracy and checking verification and validation? That's one point. The other point that we'd like to make sure of is the security and safety and the privacy of this data, because we are putting all our eggs in one basket. Don't forget this point. And there is some sectors and places here, not only in our country, in different countries, they defer that decision till they make sure that they won't be breached, they want to be intruded. So that's why it's not an easy job. That's one point. But here, for the satisfaction and for the growth of our economic and social growth, it is the two ways that we are talking about. Yes. I heard that PM Prime Minister, they started here having a committee just to have our abroad employees, whoever, yes, or expertise. I would like to say here as well, we would like to have this here, our database here, because it's not an easy job as well. Because here it's not the point of just registering and recording the data about everyone, his name, address, qualification, experience. There is more than one factor and criteria.
Yeah.
If we are going to reach, and we'll have to work on this one starting from now, to have this our database.
Even in the field of health and education.
Yes, this will actually, it will help in different areas. In education, in health, in training, in innovation, in creativity, in improving our country and our state. And as Dr. Osama just said right now, I do agree with him absolutely, that here, that IT, this is, I would say it's a treasure. And it doesn't need here a capital, as they say. It needs here mindware. We always say hardware, software, and mindware.
We have that.
And we have that. We have that because actually we have we have a big number of graduated. We have enthusiastic, students and people and youth, and instead of they are spending and wasting their time for something aimless, we need to direct them to have this with a fruitful things. It needs actually to work on that. I would suggest here, not only taking this, why don't we open the door and try to make use of all the expertise here, take in consideration over 40 years or more than that, we've been working in this field. I don't mean personal. I mean, you will find many expertise in this area.
Yes.
And the nature of IT and communication, actually, it's not only science, it's not theoretical, it's practical, it's innovative, it's talented, gifted people, enthusiastic. That's
yes,
what we
and one of the main goals of this strategy in 2018 till 2020, it would be to be reshaping the Egyptian character and the Egyptian identity, Dr. Osama, through technology. How do you see this statement through President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi and the Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli?
Well, there is a term nowadays called the digital citizenship. And they are, in the upcoming days, they'll be focusing on the awareness of the digital citizenship, which means that in Egypt, for example, we have about 60% of the population that use the internet. And the goal is to have 100% using the internet, making the internet available for every citizenship in the country. It doesn't mean that as I'm a citizen using the internet, sitting on the computer playing games on the internet. It means that I'm dealing with the internet for the benefit of my life. There's also a term called the Internet of Things. It means that everything that we see now connected to the internet, even the television, the television itself, of course, the refrigerator, the stove, everything will be connected to the internet. So this will be a transaction between us and other things. Cars, the new cars will be using the internet, like electric cars. So I have to be ready as a citizen to use this kind of technology. And the awareness will be coming before the 2020 to educate all the Egyptians of the real benefit of the internet. Not being only sitting, playing, or using the social media, and this is all I know over the internet. When it comes to education, for example, we see this year, for example, they start using the tablets on the schools. So they are looking at the children, because this is the generations upcoming, using the internet in the right way for the education. And then it goes now talking about the health sector, also having the internet and the technology on the health sectors. Port Said will be the first city using the system, for example. So we're talking about using the internet and have it available for every citizenship. This is a very big achievement. And we be one of the leading country on this field, because what we have, as the doctor said, the previous experience for a very long time. We have expertise that they can transfer the technology and the knowledge to other people.
The digital citizenship, in your opinion, what are the advantages and the disadvantages of such a theme?
Advantage, disadvantage.
Yes.
Actually, the advantage that here it will make the life easy, and you can do it facilitates your life, makes the life easier. You can control many things. And this advantage, Of course, that on the other side, we are talking about the threats that always is double-folded when we talk
security
about
threat.
Security threats and privacy. The awareness is a must that we are talking about, and we shouldn't forget at the same time, as my friend and my colleague Dr. Osama just mentioned, Internet of Things, IoT. That's actually one of the new trends that we are working on. We shouldn't forget that here, actually, 1820 as well, there is what they call it knowledge city, or city of knowledge, which will be in the new administrative capital. And they're trying to make R&D, number one. Imagine, usually when we are talking about IT and communication, I start, and it is even for strategic planning and strategic viewer and vision, we start by the dream. We ask people, tell them, dream, just imagine. The sky is our limit. Because actually nobody can expect what will be tomorrow. And if we'd like to do this, just go back 20 years and nobody can imagine how we are sitting here. And here, Internet of Things, actually, communication, ICT, it is involved, or as we used to say, embedded processor techniques, computer engineering, it is embedded everything here in this.
Would it be easy to be dealing with for all the citizens in Egypt?
I think it would. It would. Actually, because we are not going to ask them. You being a user, it's not a big deal. Just a user. And you see 2-3 years old children, they are playing with this one. The point here, this is as consumer, as user, end user. But at the same time, we shouldn't forget our main task, that we would like to be pioneer. And we have got here many things that will, strong points, as we say, of making what we call SWOT techniques, strengths, weakness, opportunity, and threat. We have the Arabic language. We have our history in this area. We have our expertise, our calibers, and a huge number of population that are well learned. And I keep always saying that we are quick learners. It means only to have
young country.
Yes. We need here to have that kind of umbrella. And I congratulate actually the Prime Minister and President Sisi. They are pushing in this direction here to transfer into digitized or digital systems, and the life will be changing actually. Everything will be changing. All our professions. Yes. So IT and communication, it is involved in everything, and everyone, we can make use of it to improve luxury, prosperity, entertainment, whatever in our life. At the same time, we are going to gain a lot of money. We'll grow. We'll have a great growth in our economy. And that's, we will look like Asian countries, Philippines and all the countries, and Sri Lanka, India, as my friend just mentioned. They make a lot of money on that. You don't need a lot of capital, starting up capital, and this is on our side. So yes, we are very optimistic.
Before speaking more about the knowledge city that would be built in the new administrative capital, how about the topic of the digital citizenship? What are the pioneering countries in the Middle East and in the world that can be having the same model implemented here in Egypt?
Well, actually, UAE, Dubai, of course, they now very advanced. They're very advanced on using the technology in everywhere. So this is a good example that. And for me personally, I know most of the technology persons working there are Egyptians. So yeah, they are. I was really telling to myself, why we don't do this in our country? Because I saw the growth since 4 years back. So if we're talking about an example of the digital citizenship, you can find it very clearly in Dubai. And we're not talking about like US, UK, of course, the same thing there. They started a long time ago. We can do it because we have the brains. We have even the people who build the system are there, and mostly they are outsourcing. I mean, Egyptian companies are working online to do the projects. So we can do it here, and we started already. And the good benefit of this, I mean, we're late, so we all know that we are late, But the good benefit of this is that we will start from the end, with the so this is a good benefit, and this would speed the time to complete the big project. Egyptian database, I mean the national database of Egypt, it's a huge, because we are 100 million people, and we're talking about millions of transactions happening every day. Not like a small countries like you Dubai. We're talking like 100 times more transactions than them. So this has to be built on very strong foundation of technology, security, and big databases. So we call it big data is the key for any country now. Connecting all the citizens to one database. This is a huge work and needs lots of security, as the doctor said.
That's right.
Yes, and speaking of more technology in the future of Egypt, the Knowledge City will be built in the new administrative capital, more like the Silicon Valley in the United States. Let's take a look in this report about it.
To establish itself as a regional hub for higher education, science and technology, Egypt plans to set up a knowledge city in the new administrative capital east of Cairo that will host branches of foreign universities and research, innovation and entrepreneurship centers, along with a science park. The project was announced by both Ministers of Communications and Information Technology and Higher Education and Scientific Research last month. The Knowledge City project is in line with the country's higher education and research strategy for 2016 to 2030 that aims to promote science, technology and innovation with higher education institutions and research centers, and to produce industry and market-ready graduates. The Knowledge City will be set up in a new administrative capital to be built east of Cairo and will take at least 7 years to complete. It is envisaged that Knowledge City will cater to Egypt's growing demand for a higher education system that meets international standards. It will be situated on 122 hectares and will gather together branches of foreign universities as well as research, innovation and entrepreneurship centers. There will also be a technology park aimed at encouraging links between universities, research institutes, and the technology-based private sector to encourage the transfer of technology, knowledge, and skills to technology-based companies and to incubate startup enterprises. The Knowledge City will host a consortium of foreign universities, which will run their own study programs. It is expected that 16 branches of foreign universities will start educational and research programs by the end of 2018.
Welcome back to the daily debate. Dr. ElSayed, what is the knowledge city that would be built or is currently being built in the new administrative capital?
Actually, this is an ideal, modernized digital city. It's based on ICT and knowledge. And there, I think it was about 300 fidans in the new capital, administrative capital. And they're trying to apply even any prototype. For example, for the cars, they will use electrical cars used there, and not only this a friendly environmental for environment. They are going to use Internet of Things. They are going to use 3D, 4G, all the new technologies based upon that, and they have at the same time R&D. And they are going to have some people for R&D, and they are going to train people there, and they will make it an ideal city here. And from there, you can use all this knowledge to start for digital citizenship and for all our dreams with the strategic plan. This is in a word, yes.
So, in your opinion, what are the benefits of building the knowledge city in Egypt?
Well, this city will be the largest city in the Middle East when we call it a technology city like this. And I see the biggest benefit there would be the research and development, because we don't have research and development. We don't spend much money on the research and development, while some countries spend 30% of their income on research and development. So this will be a very huge step moving forward on R&D. The second thing, will be the incubators for small businesses to start there, like we're talking about Silicon Valley in US. So we'll have all the IT or tech companies, small companies and medium and large companies will be there. So this is, I mean, having all the technology companies in one area, this is also a very big step. And the training centers and the mega companies, the international companies, when they come and open here. So this is, I mean, a very big achievement to have such a city here, competing big cities in the US and UK, and would be the largest city, as I said, in the Middle East.
How can this city be changing the education and the higher educational system in Egypt?
Actually here, as Dr. Sana just said here, the three benefits or main benefits, one of them R&D, training, and at the same time to have a collective, all IT together with them. So there is a relationship between here, the education and the business requirements. And we always keep that. And I mean, if you'd like to have some progress and to develop any country, you have to concentrate on three different entities. The first one, what the business requirements, this is one point. How about the education here and training, that's what we are talking about. The third point, what about the policies and the government pushing, encouraging? So from the government and the state, they are going to put this environment, healthy, potential, encouraging environment. The second point here for the business, according to the requirement and the future and the potential of the different businesses, this will impact the training to prepare the graduates to fill in this field. And at the same time, it will affect the training itself for the requirements. And that's actually, this is what we call it 4Cs model. 4Cs model, it takes, they agreed upon these three different entities upon four things. Number one, we have to have those potential youth or employees that number one, they will have to have a critical thinking and decision-making capability. Number two, to have communication skills to communicate with each other. Number three, how to work in and to collaborate with each other as they are doing in this knowledge setting. And number four, the creativity and the innovation. I think that by doing this and by having this knowledge setting, they are covering all these four different C's as we speak.
What about the economic gains for the knowledge city, and could it be attracting foreign students from Africa and the Arab world to be studying and working in Egypt?
We're talking about the economics matters. I just give you an example of India, for example, 40% of their income coming from exporting technology. So this is an industry. If we speak about the economy and the benefit for a country gaining more income, meaning that we have all the exporting the technology to other countries from Egypt. The interest will be coming from also all other neighbor countries to come over here to work and to be part of this industry. Having the quality, I mean, they're also looking for the export things from the quality perspective. The quality means the coding, the writing the software. As we have, competing in the Middle East, also Egypt, and then followed by Jordan. These are the two major countries that exporting technology overseas. But I think also one of the major elements that the country, the president, looking for is having manufacturing technologies here. Not only the software, as Dr. said, software and hardware, but also we have factories open here and producing, like we say, for equipment, computers, those kind of, Samsung, big company, and they started their manufacturing in South Egypt. So we need more companies, big companies like this to start here. And we have, the sand in Egypt. This is where they manufacture the silicon from. So we have it here in Egypt and very low price, and they are starting now to producing the silicons from the sand. So this is one of the major step in manufacturing technology. Bringing factories here.
Yes, attracting foreign direct investments in the field of information technology and communication, as Dr. Osama said. How do you see it, and how do you see the climate in Egypt nowadays with the new investment law?
Yes, I would say this actually is very attractive climate here, and we have a very good potential here for attracting direct investment in this area. Because actually here, any investor or foreigner, when he is coming, he doesn't want here to risk. This is risk assessment. So what have we got? I always keep being asked this question: why you? Why we are coming to you here? They are relying upon here, upon the policies, upon here, the security, stability in the country. Here, how they are supporting, how the government and the state, they are supporting the investment. They are facilitating this, and this is one of the direction. On the other thing here, that we have here a strategic, outstanding, position within, the country, the atmosphere as well, the weather.
Yeah.
The third point that we are keep talking about, that we have the human resource, the workforce. We have a very huge number of already, they need just, very short training, and they will be
new graduates every year.
Graduates, yes, and different expertise in different areas as well, in this field, and then you can make use of them. And we keep always saying that we are learnable. As long as you are motivated and you believe that you will do it, you will do that. So this is the benefits. Last year, the calibers, talents, 100 million, definitely you can find here a bigger number or a huge number of talented and gifted people that you innovate and you create.
Yes, and how do you see the role of the private sector? We spoke a lot about the directives of President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi to Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, and of course the Minister of Information Technology and Communication, Amr Talat. The role of the government we spoke a lot about. What about the role of the private sector in this strategy? How do you see it?
Well, private sector, they must start competing now. Looking for they develop themselves for the future upcoming technologies. Otherwise, they will be gone in very short time. So private sectors are the nerve of the transforming technologies. The digital transforming in Egypt. So it's not only for the benefit of their income, to increase their income, but the stability to keep going on the market. They have to train themselves, and they have to look for the newest technology. And this is also a role of the government. They're doing now training happening like everywhere and there to get the most advanced technology here adopted here in Egypt by the private sector. The private sectors, they will carry on the next step, putting the technology in the hands of every citizenship.
Yes, and hopefully this will be done in the very short term. Dr. Osama Mustafa, the information technology expert, thank you very much for being with us today on the Daily Debate.
Thank you so much.
And Dr. ElSayed, the Professor of Information Technology and Computer Engineering, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you for giving me the chance.
And this brings us to the end of the Daily Debate for tonight. Thank you for watching, and I will be leaving you with the latest activities of President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi in the past week in this report. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.